I didn't ignore my sister's frantic calls because I was heartless. I ignored them because the last time I answered, she asked me to co-sign a loan for $30,000 and called me selfish when I said no. That was 3 years ago. We hadn't spoken since. So when her name lit up my phone 12 times in one morning, I knew something was wrong. Or rather, someone wanted something. I was at my desk at Morrison and Clark, a mid-sized consulting firm in downtown Seattle, when my boss Rachel poked her head into my office. "What is it?" "Your sister is in the lobby," she said. "And your parents. They're asking for you." My stomach dropped. "They're here?" Security called up. They said it's urgent. I hadn't seen my parents in 2 years. Not since Thanksgiving, when my mother spent the entire dinner listing all the ways I'd disappointed them. My sister Emma had nodded along, agreeing with every word. I'd left before dessert and never looked back. "Tell them I'm in a meeting," I said. Rachel hesitated. "They said they'll wait. Then they'll be waiting a while." She left, and I tried to focus on the quarterly report spreadsheet in front of me, but the numbers blurred. My hands were shaking. Why were they here? At my workplace? My phone buzzed. "Emma, we need to talk. Now." I turned it face down. 10 minutes later, Rachel was back. Her expression was strained. "Maya, they're causing a scene. They're saying you're refusing to help with a family emergency." "What kind of scene?" "Your sister is crying. Loudly. Your father is telling everyone in the lobby that you're ignoring your dying mother." "My mother isn't dying. She's 58 and runs marathons." Rachel looked uncomfortable. "I think you should come down." I took the elevator to the lobby, my throat tight. The doors opened, and I saw them immediately. My mother was sobbing into my father's shoulder. Emma stood next to them, her face red and blotchy. A small crowd of employees had gathered, pretending not to stare. "Mom," I said quietly. "What's going on?" She looked up, and her tears stopped like someone had flipped a switch. "Maya, finally. Why are you here?" My father stepped forward. "We need to talk. Privately. Then call me. Don't show up at my job." "We tried calling," Emma snapped. "You ignored us." I looked at her. "Because the last time we talked, you asked me for money." "This is different," my mother said. "This is life or death." The receptionist was watching. So was David from accounting, and Karen from HR. I felt my face burn. "Conference room. Now." I led them to a small meeting room on the first floor and shut the door. The moment it closed, my mother's tears vanished completely. "We need $50,000, she said. "Excuse me? Your father lost his job 6 months ago. We're behind on the mortgage. The bank is going to foreclose." I stared at them. "You came to my office to ask me for $50,000? "Not ask," Emma said. "You owe us." "I don't owe you anything." My father's face darkened. "We raised you, fed you, put you through school. I paid for college with scholarships and student loans. Loans I just finished paying off last year. Your sister has 3 kids, my mother said. She can't afford to lose the house." "Wait, your house or Emma's house?" "Both," Emma said. "We all live together. Have been since my divorce." I felt dizzy. "So you want me to pay your mortgage because you all decided to live together?" "Mom and Dad took me in," Emma said. "Unlike some people, I believe in family." The jab was deliberate. I ignored it. "I can't give you $50,000. "Can't or won't," my father said. "Both. I just put a down payment on a condo. I don't have that kind of cash." My mother's eyes narrowed. "You just bought a condo?" "Yes." "How much was the down payment?" "That's none of your business." "You have money for yourself but not for your own mother?" She pressed a hand to her chest. "Do you know what that feels like?" I stood up. "I need to get back to work." Emma stood too, blocking the door. "We're not leaving until you agree to help. Then you'll be here a while." "You selfish bitch." The door opened. Rachel stood there, her expression professional but firm. "Maya, your 2 o'clock is here. Client meeting, conference room B." It wasn't 2 o'clock. It wasn't even noon, but I nodded. "I have to go." "We're not done," my father said. "Yes, we are." I walked out. Emma called after me, loud enough for the entire lobby to hear. "You're just going to abandon us? Let your own mother lose her home?" I kept walking. Behind me, I heard my father's voice boom across the lobby. "Ungrateful. After everything we've done for her." I pressed the elevator button. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold my phone. The rest of the day was a blur. I couldn't focus on work. I kept replaying the scene in the lobby, wondering how many people had heard, wondering what they thought of me. At 4 p.m., Rachel appeared at my door again. They're still here, she said. What? Your family. They've been in the lobby for 4 hours. Your sister is showing people pictures of her kids. Your mother is telling anyone who'll listen that you refuse to help. I felt sick. Call security. Already did. They asked your family to leave. Your father said they have a right to be here as guests. They're not guests. They're trespassing. Rachel sat down. Maya, what's going on? I told her. All of it. The years of manipulation, the constant demands, the way they'd cut me off when I set boundaries, only to reappear when they wanted something. When I finished, Rachel was quiet for a moment. Do you want me to call the police? I hesitated. They're my family. They're harassing you at work. That's not okay. Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. I opened it and felt the blood drain from my face. It was a photo of a credit card application, with my name on it, my signature. Except I'd never applied for this card. I showed Rachel. She leaned closer, her eyes widening. Is that your signature? No. It's close, but no. Another text came through. Then another. More applications. Car loan, personal loan. All with my name. All with signatures that looked like mine but weren't. Who sent these? I scrolled up. The number wasn't saved, but the area code was local. Seattle. A third text appeared. Mom said you'd help once you saw these. We already submitted them. The money will come through in a few days. You're welcome. It was Emma. My hands went numb. They forged my signature. Rachel's face went pale. Multiple times. I need to call the police. Do it. Now. Security called the police. It took 20 minutes for 2 officers to arrive. By then, my parents and Emma had moved from the lobby to the parking lot, where they'd apparently set up camp by my car. I met the officers in the lobby and explained everything. Showed them the texts, the photos of the forged applications. The older officer, a woman named Chen, took notes. The younger one went outside to speak with my family. How many applications did they submit? Officer Chen asked. I don't know. At least 5 from what they sent me. And you didn't authorize any of these? No. I didn't even know they existed until 20 minutes ago. She nodded. We'll need to take a statement from them. We went outside. My mother saw me and rushed over. Maya, thank God. Tell these officers this is a misunderstanding. It's not a misunderstanding. You forged my signature. We did what we had to do, my father said. You wouldn't help. The younger officer stepped between us. Sir, I need you to step back. You don't understand, Emma said. She has the money. We're her family. She's supposed to help. By committing fraud? Officer Chen said. My mother's face crumpled. It's not fraud. We're family. She would have said yes, eventually. But I didn't say yes, I said. You forged my signature. That's identity theft. Don't be dramatic, Emma snapped. Officer Chen turned to me. Do you want to press charges? My mother gasped. Maya, no, you can't. Yes, I said. I want to press charges. What happened next was chaos. My mother screamed. My father tried to grab my arm and the younger officer had to physically restrain him. Emma called me every name she could think of, her voice echoing across the parking lot. Employees were watching from the windows. I saw David recording on his phone. The officers separated us. Officer Chen took me back inside while her partner dealt with my family. In the quiet of the conference room, I called my bank, froze my credit, filed fraud alerts with all 3 credit bureaus, called a lawyer friend who specialized in identity theft. By the time I came back outside, my family was in handcuffs. My mother was still crying, but it sounded different now, real. How could you do this to us? She sobbed. I didn't do anything. You did this to yourselves. Emma lunged toward me, but the officer holding her arm pulled her back. I hope you're happy, Emma spat. You're ruining our lives. You ruined your own lives when you decided to commit fraud. The officers loaded them into separate patrol cars. As they drove away, my mother pressed her face against the window, staring at me. I stood in the parking lot for a long time after they left, shaking. Rachel appeared beside me. You okay? No. Do you need to go home? I need to talk to HR. We went back inside. I spent the next hour with Karen from HR and our company's legal counsel, explaining everything. They were supportive but concerned. This could become a media issue, the lawyer said. Family drama, workplace confrontation. If your family talks to the press, I'll handle it, I said. We're here if you need anything, Karen added. But Maya, you should take a few days off. Process this. I can't afford to take time off. I have the Brennan pitch on Friday. Rachel will cover it, the lawyer said. Take the week. That's an order. I drove home in a daze. My condo felt too quiet. I sat on my couch and stared at my phone. The texts from Emma kept coming. You're going to regret this. Mom's blood pressure is through the roof. If something happens to her, it's on you. We're your family. You're supposed to protect us. I blocked the number. Over the next 3 days, I gave my statement to the police, provided documentation of the forged applications, met with my lawyer to discuss next steps. The applications had been submitted to 7 different institutions: credit cards, personal loans, even a mortgage refinance. Total requested amount, $87,000. If they'd succeeded, I would have been responsible for all of it. My lawyer was a sharp woman named Patricia who'd handled dozens of identity theft cases. The good news is you caught it early, she said. The bad news is prosecuting family members is complicated. I don't care. I want them prosecuted. Even if it means they could go to jail? Especially if it means that. She nodded. Then we fight. 2 weeks later, my mother, father, and sister were formally charged. 3 counts of identity theft, multiple counts of fraud, 1 count of forgery per application. Their lawyer tried to make a deal. They'd drop the fraud charges if I agreed not to testify. No deal, I told Patricia. The preliminary hearing was surreal. I sat in the courtroom and watched my mother cry on the witness stand, insisting she'd only wanted to help her grandchildren. The prosecutor, a stern man named Williams, wasn't impressed. You helped yourself to your daughter's identity, he said. That's not help. That's theft. My father tried to claim I'd given them permission verbally. That fell apart when the prosecutor presented evidence that I'd blocked their numbers months ago. Emma's defense was the worst. She claimed I owed them because they'd raised me. Judge Morrison, a woman in her 60s, looked at Emma over her glasses. Your sister is not an ATM, she said. And even if she were, you'd need her PIN code, which you didn't have, because this was theft. The judge denied bail reduction and set a trial date. As I left the courthouse, a reporter approached me. Miss Chen, how do you feel about pressing charges against your own mother? I feel like I'm protecting myself from criminals, I said. The fact that they're related to me doesn't change what they did. The story ran in the local paper the next day. The headline read, Daughter prosecutes parents for $87,000 fraud scheme. The comments section was vicious. Half the people called me heartless. The other half called my family parasites. I stopped reading after the first page. Work was awkward for about a week, people whispered. A few co-workers asked if I was okay. Most avoided eye contact. Then something unexpected happened. David from accounting stopped by my office. Hey, he said, I just wanted to say I think you're brave. I looked up, surprised. My brother stole my identity 5 years ago, he continued. Ruined my credit. I didn't press charges because he's family. He did it again last year. I wish I'd had your courage the first time. After he left, 2 more people stopped by with similar stories. Identity theft by family members was apparently more common than I'd thought. By the end of the month, the whispers had stopped. Rachel pulled me aside one day. The Brennan pitch went well, she said, but they specifically asked for you for the implementation phase. They were impressed by how you handled your family situation. I blinked. They know about that? It made the news, Maya. They read it. Said anyone who can stand up to that kind of pressure is exactly the kind of person they want managing their account. 2 months later, I got a promotion. The trial was set for 6 months after the arrest, but it never made it that far. 3 months in, my family's lawyer approached Patricia with a plea deal. They'll plead guilty to reduced charges, Patricia explained. Identity theft drops to attempted fraud. They'll do community service, probation, and pay restitution for any fees you incurred. No jail time. I wanted to say no. Wanted them to face the full consequences. But Patricia was honest. If we go to trial, there's a chance the jury sympathizes with them, she said. Family angle, struggling parents, grandkids at risk. It's a risk. What do you recommend? Take the deal. Get it in writing. Move on with your life. I took the deal. The sentencing hearing was quick. My mother, father, and Emma each pled guilty. Each received 2 years probation, 200 hours of community service, and a no-contact order. They were forbidden from contacting me for 5 years. Any violation would result in immediate jail time. As we left the courtroom, my mother tried to approach me. Her lawyer pulled her back, whispering frantically. The no-contact order had already gone into effect. I walked out without looking back. 6 months after that, I was having coffee with Patricia when she mentioned she'd heard through legal circles that my sister had violated probation. What happened? She contacted you via a fake Facebook account. You reported it. She's serving 90 days. I had reported it. A profile under a fake name had sent me a friend request, but the profile picture was Emma's daughter. The message said, "Mom wants to apologize." I'd screenshot it and sent it to my lawyer within 5 minutes. Patricia smiled. "You don't mess around." I learned from the best. A year after the sentencing, I was closing on a new condo. Bigger place, better neighborhood. My career had taken off. The Brennan account had led to 3 more major clients. I'd been promoted to senior consultant. My parents lost their house. I heard through a mutual acquaintance that they'd moved to Arizona to live with my father's sister. Emma was working part-time at a grocery store, still on probation. I felt nothing when I heard the news. Not satisfaction, not guilt, nothing. I'd spent so many years being manipulated, being told I was selfish for having boundaries. It had taken them committing actual crimes for me to finally see clearly. They hadn't loved me. They'd loved what I could do for them. 2 years after everything happened, I was at a work conference in Portland when I saw my mother across the lobby. She looked older, tired. She saw me and froze. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she turned and walked away. The no-contact order had expired 6 months earlier, but she didn't approach me, didn't try to speak. Maybe she'd finally learned, or maybe she just knew there was nothing left to take. I went back to my hotel room that night and called Patricia. "I saw my mother today," I said. "And?" She walked away. "Good," Patricia said. "That means she's finally getting it." "Getting what?" "That you're not her safety net. You're not her backup plan. You're a person, and people deserve respect." I hung up and looked out at the city lights. For the first time in years, I felt free. 3 years later, I'm still in Seattle, still at Morrison and Clark, now as a partner. I bought a house last year, got a dog. I haven't heard from my family since that day in Portland. Sometimes people ask me if I regret pressing charges, if I miss having a family. I tell them the truth. I don't regret it, not for a second. And I didn't lose a family. I escaped one.